Hello and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. I'm your man, Stacey Mallory, and I have a great segment for you today. We're going to be talking about J.C. Jackson and new information that came out about his departure from the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to be doing our football picks, and we have an interview live from New Jersey with Jay, big-time Giant fan, and Gerard, big-time Miami Dolphins fan. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's get it.
Drop back, just rushing three. Herbert got a man down the sideline. All alone is Mike Williams. And he will prance into the end zone for the goal. Good morning. Once again, this is your host, Stacey Mallory. We are live on Chargers Talk 4630 on a beautiful Sunday afternoon out in Jersey. The temperature is 57 degrees. I don't know where you are today, and hopefully you're doing well. I got a great segment for you today. We're going to be discussing new information that came out about the departure of J.C. Jackson. We're going to be doing our football picks this morning. I also picked Buffalo to beat Jaguars. Right now, they're at halftime in London, England, and they're down 11-8. And then I'll be interviewing a big diehard Giants fan from Jersey, Jay, and I'll be also interviewing a big diehard Miami fan named Gerard, and they'll be joining us soon. So once again, welcome. If you guys like what we're doing, please don't forget to go to YouTube on my YouTube channel, which is Stacey Mallory. Make sure you press like, give a thumbs up, and most importantly, subscribe so that you will always get any content that we're putting out. But the first thing that I want to talk about, I want to discuss J.C. Jackson. I didn't discuss anything when he got released because I didn't know all the particulars, and I always said, and what I've always learned, never to put information when you don't have facts to back it up. So I didn't know enough about what happened, but here's what we do know. The eyes don't lie. Everybody in Charger land was very excited about J.C. Jackson when he was signed. Everybody was ecstatic. You finally had a shutdown corner. The guy was known as Mr. INT, 25 picks in 4 years. Chargerland was excited about that. You had a guy that could take care of one side of the field. Unfortunately, in his first year, he had some kind of injury where it was reported he's had this injury since he was a little kid, but it never bothered him. He had this injury all the while playing with the New England Patriots. It never was a problem. 2 weeks into preseason, it became an issue. It turned into a lot of pain. He was limping around, and the doctors examined it and said they can have a quick surgery and they can take care of it, and he'll be ready to go week 1. He came in week 1. He started getting beat a lot. You could clearly see he wasn't able to keep up with the receivers, limping off the field on every play. And then, unfortunately, week 5, he tore his patella, totally blew it out, and had to have season-ending surgery. Our hearts were broken because we finally had our guy, our shutdown guy, but unfortunately, injuries derailed this all over again. But he came back week 2. He trained hard. He had a great offseason program, and surprisingly, he was available and ready week 1. But he came out week 1 against Miami Dolphins, made a whole bunch of mistakes. Those guys are track stars. Those guys are world-class athletes that all run 4.2 and 4.3, and coming off a surgery on a foot and a blown tendon in the knee, he was no match, getting constantly beat, and then had to end up leaving the game. Came back week 2, some of the same issues, making mistakes, being in zone coverages, not familiar with that. When he was with New England, they kept him in man. Just stay on your receiver. Just do your job, is what Belichick has always preached. But when he came there with the Chargers, they started putting him in cover 2, cover 3, zone coverages, and often he was turned around, did not know where he was supposed to be, and unfortunately got benched. And then week 3 came, and there was no J.C. Jackson, healthy scratch. Week 4 came, no J.C. Jackson, another healthy scratch. J.C. was saying he can play. Then the next week, J.C. was saying he's not fully healthy. Hey, look, the trade ended up taking place where, it started off a beautiful marriage with Brandon Staley. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. In this kind of business, you make a big trade and everybody get all excited, but unfortunately, sometimes it just don't work out. I believe the Chargers were very, very lucky to get out of that contract. They paid him $85 million. Here's the final numbers on that. The Chargers paid J.C. Jackson $8 million just to make the trade where they could send him back to the New England Patriots. The final 2 years of that contract was not guaranteed. So they had to pay majority of it this year, and they paid him last year. And then now the rest, J.C. Jackson, from what I was told, reports are that he's active and will be playing for the New England Patriots today. We'll keep an eye on that. But good luck to J.C. Jackson. He seemed like a nice guy. I was glad that he was here, but as a Charger fan, we never got to see a fully healthy J.C. Jackson, and that's just unfortunate. Before we go into our interview where we bring on Jay to discuss the situation with the Giants, I'm going to do about 6 picks, which people always looking forward to my football picks. And I've been doing pretty good, but I'm going to put up the first, 5 games. The Jaguars and the Bills. I had the Bills winning 31-17. So far, they looking good. It's 11-8. It's a lot of time left, but they're down to the Jaguars 11-8 in London. Then you got the Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. I thought the Falcons was going to make some noise. They got off to a 2-0 start. I think we should give some love to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is the only quarterback in the National Football League right now that doesn't have a pick. So CJ Stroud is doing his numbers right now, and I'm proud of him. He's looking good. Desmond Ridder is just not looking like he's the quarterback for the Falcons. They have a lot of talent over there on the offensive side. And Bijan Robinson, I mean, he's a beast. I've seen him the first 2 games, but unfortunately, team defenses are crowding the box, putting 9 in the box, stopping him from running. And the quarterback has not been able to elevate his game and make any plays. So I got Texans winning that game 20-13. Good job by D'Amico Ryan over there. Panthers and the Lions. This is a tough one. The quarterback is struggling with the Panthers right now, and the Lions look like they're hungry. The Lions look like they want to get in the playoffs and make a deep run. They're playing. Jared Goff is not. Numbers don't blow you out the water, but they're winning. They got a balanced attack on offense with the running game going, and Jared Goff is doing enough to pull out games in the end. I like the Lions 27-10. Then we're going to go to Titans and the Colts. These are 2 teams to me that I think are like evenly matched. Derrick Henry haven't been getting it going. Derrick Henry only had 1 game this year where he had over 100 yards. I don't know if he's starting to get long in the tooth or the gas tank is starting to empty out a little bit, but I like what Anthony Richardson is doing with the Colts. Shane Steichen, I'm sorry, has done a great job. He tutored Justin Herbert as a rookie. He went over the second year in Philly with Hurts when everybody thought that Hurts wasn't going to be that good. They went to a Super Bowl, and now he's head coach of the Colts. And Anthony Richardson only played 8 games in college, and he's looking like a seasoned veteran right now. And then you get Jonathan Taylor, who signed his contract, so he'll be back in the lineup. I don't know how much he's going to be able to contribute because he haven't done no camp OTAs, no preseason, and haven't played the first 4 games. So I'm sure that he's going to be on a limited count. I like the Colts 23-19. Saints and Patriots. I don't know. I was checking this morning. I don't know the issue that's going on with Derek Carr or how bad his shoulder's still bothering him. But the Saints offense hasn't looked good all season long. They are struggling. The defense is still really good. The Patriots haven't been that. Mac Jones it's time for the Patriots to start looking for a quarterback. I don't like what I see with Mac Jones. It looked like Mac Jones is regressing to me. But I got a feeling because the Saints are struggling on offense and they are in Gillette Stadium in New England, I got to think that Bill Belichick can keep this offense in check enough and try to run the ball. I don't know how much success he'll have against the Saints, but I'm going to go with the Patriots at home 16-13. And then we have the Ravens playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have to say, watching the Ravens and the Steelers over the years, this is always a game that I would never miss when they had those with Ray Lewis and, Davis, Terrell Suggs. I mean, on the Steelers side, it was like a heavyweight bout. And a couple of people was going to go down. The ambulance was going to come on with stretchers. Those are not those 2 teams anymore. So the Steelers are struggling with Pickett. And we thought Pickett at the second half of the season was coming on, and we thought he was starting to grow into his position. He had a good preseason. Everybody was excited in Pittsburgh land. But once the season started, Kenny Pickett has struggled. He has struggled bad. And the Steelers, without getting no production from the quarterback, they in a lot of trouble. I like the Ravens to make enough plays to win this 19-10. So now I'm going to I must finish up the picks a little bit later. But right now, I want to go to Jay. I want to talk to Jay about the situation that's going on with the Giants. And Jay, if you don't mind, I'm going to set the stage. I'm going to paint the picture, and then I'll let you come in from there. Like last year, the Giants made the playoffs by a wild card with his 9-7 record. Saquon Barkley, he finished with 1,312 yards and 10 touchdowns. Daniel Jones finished with 15 touchdowns and 5 picks. But although those numbers don't pop off the charts, he managed the game very well. A coaching strategy that limited his mistakes with ball control game. They went on the road, won a playoff game in a hostile environment in Minnesota, and took down a high-powered offense. Coach Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year. Everything is looking good in Giant land. Now, entering 2023 season, expectations is very high. After last season's success, they signed Daniel Jones to a 4-year, $160 million contract with 82 fully guaranteed. Also can make up $35 million in incentives. Jones currently is making $47 million this season. Now, I know it's only been 4 games, but the losses were bad with blowout loss to the Niners, Cowboys, Seattle, and it was down 21-0 at halftime in Arizona before coming back to win that game. So we're going to bring in Jay right now. And Jay, welcome. How you doing? Okay, I don't. Okay, let me check. I had the audio muted. Can you hear it now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right. Okay. I wasn't able to, I had muted while I was doing my intro. But in your opinion, what do you make of how the Giants have played through the first quarter of the season so far?
Surprising. Because actually, out of all years, I thought this year we were going to be pretty decent. Normally, I go into the year and not have much expectations, but the expectations was very high this year. And for us to come out like that was, I didn't think we was a Super Bowl team, but I didn't think we were what we are showing now. So surprising, but I seen hints of it at the end of last year, even though we had that one great playoff game against Minnesota.
Okay.
But that Minnesota defense was horrible. I mean, we have receivers running wide open with 3-4 steps on the cornerbacks. I don't know what Minnesota was doing, but the Eagle playoff game kind of exposed us because, I have my own theories, but we kind of got away from doing what we do best, and that's running the ball and filtering the game through Saquon,
I think that was a shocker to everybody because I think it was a shocker to everybody that the Giants was in the playoffs. They won a playoff game. And my thing is, a lot of their success came from a healthy Saquon Barkley being able to run the ball. And this is what a lot of people feared the most, that without Saquon in that lineup, what would the Giants offense look like? And what's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, you gotta be like, we had discussions on this before. We spoke about this before, and without Saquon, like I said, everything runs through Saquon because he's one of the few running backs that can take it 60 yards for a touchdown. So the box was constantly filled. So that opened it up for Daniel Jones for when he did want to throw to hit receivers. Now, people are not even putting people in the box. They don't even respect the running game. And they know the Giants like to get away from the running game. And these, fake bootlegs, these defenses, they had a whole year to study that offense. They're not getting away with that, anymore. But, I said it then, the Eagles game, we kind of got away from running it through Saquon. And if you notice the first game of the season against the Cowboys, the first series, we ran Saquon, marched it all the way down the field. Field goal was blocked, running it, and then we just started throwing the ball. And pass blocking is not a strength of our offensive line.
Okay.
And Daniel Jones can throw every pass, he can run, he's very athletic, but I think he still has a problem reading defense at a fast pace, being able to process it, and getting off a receiver and going to another receiver and throwing the ball. Like the rookie said last week, they notice that he locks in on a receiver and,
Okay. Looking back, do you think they should have signed Saquon and to his deal, that something similar to what Jonathan Taylor just got, because we agreed the offense did run through Saquon.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Jonathan Taylor's number. I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But Saquon is a nice guy, and that's part of the Giants' problem too. We got a lot of nice guys. We need some dogs. People that's going to hold other players accountable. He held out and he got his money.
Yeah, he did. Happy for him. Let's go. We want to touch on Daniel Jones for a minute, but I want to play a clip from a press conference that Brian Daboll had explaining, his concerns about Daniel Jones. So let's listen.
Daniel on that interception, the camera caught you showing the tablets in. What were you trying to show Daniel on that interception? The camera caught you showing the tablets in.
I was trying to show him, kind of see what he thought, and then kind of tell him what I saw.
But did you were too happy because you kind of tossed the tablet as you walked away? I mean, what was supposed to happen on that route? Was it?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into particulars of it. Just we didn't get the job done.
All right, that was Brian Daboll. So I'm asking you, how concerned are you with Daniel Jones and the offensive line, who was giving up 23 sacks this season?
Very concerned, because Daniel Jones is not the type of quarterback that can protect his offensive line by processes and everything fast and getting rid of the ball. On that particular play, he had time.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Waller wide open in the end zone.
Yeah.
And that's why he threw the now, I don't think he should have tossed the, iPad or whatever at him. That's something as a fan I would do. I understand his frustration, because the one of the reasons why we got out to a 6-1 start last year, even though I don't think that Daniel Jones was playing lights out, is that he was protecting the ball, he wasn't turning over the ball, and he was getting away with the running plays with Daniel Jones was catching people off guard, partly because they were zeroing in on Saquon. Now, without Saquon there, they really getting away with Daniel Jones running plays anyway. This year. But now he's not running the ball as good. He had a couple of nice runs, but not running the ball as good. But he's also turning over the ball, and that's the biggest.
Right. And I'm sure that's where a lot of the frustration came from so far. The expectations, deservedly so, was high for the Giants after what they accomplished last year. And I mean, Daboll turned out to be a really good coach. But let me hit on Darren Waller. Right? In my opinion, you went and made a big splash and you picked this guy up. And I would think with the offensive line concerns and with Saquon out right now, that he would be, your quarterback's best friend. That you dump off this guy when he's healthy. He's a matchup problem for a lot of defensive players. But in my opinion, he's been we have to say he's been non-existent through the first 4 games. How does Daboll figure out a way to get him involved in his offense?
Well, what I like to say when people say that a receiver, especially a receiver, has been non-existent, I ask the question. I don't get to see the tape, so I don't know. A, is he open? Because he can't throw the ball to himself. So is he getting over? Because on that interception, he was wide open.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying?
So, and we could nitpick at all of those little things, but he got a big contract, and I'm saying at the end of the day, his numbers are 15 catches, 153 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Right.
That's not what they expected out of the first quarter of the season from a guy that's getting paid a lot of money.
Right.
And I agree with what you're saying. Sometimes it's not always your fault. But at the end of the day, when they break everything down, they're going to just look at your numbers. They're going to say, hey, well, the quarterback didn't see him wide open or didn't see the safety.
Well, to me, the onus is on the Giants to figure out something. They traded for him. He didn't pick to go there. He wasn't a free agent. They traded for him. So you trade for a player that you're paying that salary. We just had the same thing happen. His name is losing me, the wide receiver that we gave all the money to last year, and now he had some opportunities, and the opportunities he had, he was dropping passes, and then they yanked them out. I haven't seen that from Waller. I haven't seen them go at Waller. Waller should be in the red zone. He should be him or Saquon when they're in that game should be your 1 and 2 choices, either or, And he locked in on that receiver last week and threw an interception.
Okay. That was the question was how does he figure out a way to get him involved in the offense? And do you think they're doing a good job of that? Of getting Waller more involved?
Yeah, no, they're not doing a good job of it.
Okay.
Now, how does he do it? He's the offensive mind. I don't know. When they go over the film with Daniel Jones, tell him, show him where he's open, and maybe since he likes to lock in on one player, call a play with him being the number one option, because from what I see, I don't think Daniel Jones can or has the ability to audible, because some of those sacks he took with people coming off the edge, he should have been able to audible into a different play or change the protection or or something. I'm I'm a fan. I'm not the great football mind that the coaches know, but
news just came across that Saquon Barkley is inactive for this game, so he's not back this week anyway.
I think.
So look, let's go to the next thing. We want to keep moving. The Giants' defense is one of their strengths last season, but they have allowed the third most points in the league by getting blown out by Cowboys, Niners, Cardinals, and all that stuff. What do you think the problem is on that side of the ball, and what do you think they need to do to get back to playing defense the way they did last year?
Well, number one, tackling.
Yeah.
A lot of missed tackles.
Yeah.
A lot of missed tackles. So, I mean, that's fundamental. So that's number one, showing up tackles. Like when you see the great teams and the great defenses like the San Frans, as much as I hate to say it, the Cowboys, when they hit you, when them defensive players hit you on the first hit, you're going down. So tackling is number one. When you got your safety getting ran over by a quarterback on a goal line, that's the issue. So tackling is one. I understand there's going to be some growing pains since we got 2 rookie corners. Even though I think Banks has been playing pretty good.
What do you think about Isaiah Simmons that was brought over? What do you think of him since he's been there?
Well, he's hustling. I mean, he doesn't play. They put him. Maybe he's just still learning the defense, but they spot play him. He doesn't. I don't know the count on how many reps he get, but he's not in the game a whole lot. But I did notice in that Seattle game when just before the half, when Seattle threw that pass to the tight end, and he ran over like 5 players before the half to get down to the 1 yard line. It was Simmons who chased him down, hustled at least.
Okay.
Chased him down all the way from the other side of the field and brought him down on the 1 yard line. So so little stuff like that. I see. So I know he's hustling, and then he had the hustle play, which could have been a borderline penalty on the sideline against Geno Smith. When he rolled up on his ankle, that was Simmons. So he's hustling.
Okay.
I'll give him that.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, Daboll got his work cut out for him because it struggles all the way around right now. It's not just Daniel Jones.
No,
every area needs to improve. But let me tell you, everyone is expecting the blowout today by the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going to ask you to tell the Giant fans why they should not throw in the towel right now, and why they should have hope that the Giants could turn this season around, considering there's still a lot of football left.
Yeah. Well, as you said, there's a lot of football left. We opened up with our first 4 games, minus Arizona. We opened up with one of the toughest schedules in the league. Dallas, San Fran, Seattle's a good team, and we got Miami and Buffalo. If we could somehow pull out a win against either Miami or Buffalo, the middle of our schedule is, pretty doable. We have, I think, the Redskins twice, the Jets, New England. So we have some winnable games. Green Bay, New Orleans. We have some games that we can win. So just like how we started out 6-1 last year and barely made the playoffs because we went on a little losing streak, we can do the same this year. So
okay,
the schedule ends kind of rough because two of our last 3 games are against the Eagles, but we don't know who's going to be hurt. We don't know the circumstances about it. But if we can, somehow pull out another win in these next couple of games, the middle of our schedule is very, very doable. Normally the Eagles kind of own us, but for some reason, the Redskins can beat the Eagles, but the Redskins can't. Well, not the Redskins. I'm sorry. You can edit that out. The Commanders. But normally, we normally beat the Commanders. Normally, we kind of handle them.
Okay. Well, you heard it from Jay. Jay, I want you to stand by. I want to finish up with the rest of my picks, and then after the picks, I'll be bringing you back. But we're gonna do these last 5 picks really quick, and then we're gonna bring in Gerard from Jersey. So
hold on one second. Hold on one.
I'm gonna mute you. Okay, you have the Jets and the Broncos. I mean, the Jets, if they had a better quarterback, and I know the kid played a little bit better the last game before he fumbled toward the end. Their defense played good enough to win that game. But I think this is the game that the Broncos pull out, because I would say Russell Wilson will make more plays than Zach Wilson. And I like the Broncos 17-13. If they don't get it done now, today, against the Jets, it's a lot of people going to be exiting Denver. Then we got the Chiefs and the Vikings. I don't think it's a whole lot to talk about there. It's Pat Mahomes. I believe they go into Minnesota and knock off the Vikings 31-17. And then you have the Cowboys and the 49ers. That's a game that I'm really looking forward to. Cowboys have been hyped up and been playing really, really well. They got humbled by the Arizona Cardinals, and then they came roaring right back. I think this is going to be a close one. I like everything about San Fran. There's no flaws. Dallas have a top-notch defense, but it's all going to come down to Dak Prescott making plays. And I trust Purdy over Dak Prescott until I'm shown otherwise. So I like the 49ers, 27-24, a lot closer than people think. And then you got the Packers and the Raiders. I'm not sure. It's going to be a game-time decision whether Devontae Adams plays. I would figure that he would, first time going up against his former team, the Green Bay Packers. But and there's a lot of problems going on with the Raiders. I just don't think the Packers is all that good of a team right now. Jordan Love it got off to a good start his first game, but he's come back down to earth. I like the Raiders 24-13. And I'm going to hold off on this game with the Giants and Dolphins until I'm finished. Right now, I'm ready to bring in Mr. Gerard, if he's ready to join us. Okay, I think Gerard is ready to join us. So with no further ado, we'd like to welcome to the stage. Well, you can stand by. You're muted, Jay. Oh, hold on. We'll just do it like that, and we'll bring him back later. So Gerard, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Good. Die-hard Miami fan. Hey, look, let's get right into it, man. Let me break everything down from the beginning, so then we can start our conversation. In 2020 draft, there was 3 quarterbacks taken: Joe Burrow in that order, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Herbert. But let's go a little bit back to Tua's injury history. September 25th, week 3 against Buffalo Bills, he was shoved to the ground, got up wobbly, had to be held up by offensive linemen, although the doctors clearly could see that he was concussed. At least we think he was concussed. But he came back into that game. He finished. But then 4 days later on Thursday night, he came in the game on Thursday Night Football and took another shot that quickly reminded everybody how violent this game can get. It was a gruesome and hard to watch, but thank God he was able to recover. And what was you thinking about your quarterback that's supposed to lead your franchise in that moment? Let's stay in this moment. What was you thinking about when that happened?
Well, actually, I really wasn't thinking about football. I was thinking about Tua. What happens that we watch the game as a football game, but when you see that happen to a person, the first thing that goes through your mind is that I hope that he's okay, period. Nothing to do with football.
Right.
After that, I did think that, wow, this guy had, been hurt throughout college here and there. And how he comes in the league and he's having these issues. But I still maintained hope because I thought he was a good quarterback.
Okay. Tua even admitted during the offseason that his injuries, in particular the concussions, was being discussed with his family and that he even considered giving up football for good. What was your thoughts when you heard that?
Wow. At first I was like, wow, because, over the years we've seen people have a lot of concussions and not necessarily hear retirement right away. But at the end of the day, it's about his personal health, and he had to discuss that with his family as he as a Miami Dolphin fan, I am super happy.
Okay.
And he managed to be in a good condition to continue to play football. God bless him.
Oh, absolutely. He took up jiu-jitsu, and that may have even made him, because he looked bigger, he looked stronger, and more important, it taught him how to fall where he don't land on his head like he always do. It appears it worked because he's taking hits better without any injuries. How good is it to see, after all he's been through, to see him bounce back and be the quarterback that Miami Dolphins was expecting him to be since, I would say, Dan Marino's been the last great quarterback, and Tua looked like he have all the tools to be just that as well.
Well, for the Dolphins fans, it's like, the best thing since ice cream as far as being able to have a chance at winning and being competitive, not just, through the beginning of the season, where for a long time we played well coming out the gate and we'd fade down the stretch. But right now it looks like we have a team that can compete, for the long haul. So that's real important to us. Seeing Tua come back and be that quarterback, it's a great thing because I have a lot of friends who the quarterbacks, the first 3 quarterbacks that were taken, we had a lot of conversations about who made out the best. And for the beginning of the conversation, I think I was really, really on the downside. But right now, I think it's a competitive conversation and a conversation that can be had that all 3 of those quarterbacks are extremely good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think it's fair because if you look at history, you've seen John Elway and Jim Kelly, Dan Marino, you've seen Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning. When you come out in the same draft class and play at the level they play, you always going to be compared to each other. The conversation is always going to go on who got the better guy, and that went on with the Giants and with the Steelers and the Chargers about who had the better quarterback and things like this. So I think it's fair to compare Burrow, Justin, and Tua because they all came at the same time. And although the Dolphins picked right before the Chargers, I'm sure I heard the conversations too. People say, hey, look, I don't know, but listen, Tua, I would say when I saw him light up the Denver Broncos, after all he's been through, it gave me that feeling like he here. He arrived. Do you feel that way?
I do feel he's arrived. I don't know if it's just behind the Denver game, even though during last season in that Baltimore game, when he had an exceptional game, I think he threw for about 6 touchdowns or so. I knew that he had the skill set to play the game. Did I think that he needed to get a little stronger as he has? And the issue on taking the hits, this season, we've changed that a lot with the fact that he releases the ball a lot faster. He's no longer taking those hits and holding on to that football. He's thrown it extremely fast. And right now he's only been sacked twice, which is really important for his health. So for us, that Denver game was phenomenal, but it is just one game. The 70 points was something that we haven't seen in football. But it's just one game. We got a long season ahead of us.
Right. Do you think the way the Dolphins come out and attack teams offense, because these guys are like, they terrorize cornerbacks because they're so damn fast, but putting up the high numbers constantly, do you think over a 17-game season they can sustain that?
Well, I don't think they can sustain like 70s, but I believe they probably average a good 25, 30 points a game with this team. This is a phenomenal offense. Like pretty much the whole offense are track stars. And as we continue to play, and it's still early, so I think the offense will even get better as it comes, later on in the season. So hopefully we can maintain these points and playing the way we're playing on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay, let me hit here. Chase Claypool, who was drafted by the Steelers and traded twice within the same year because he spent time with Chicago Bears. Another burner who ran a 4.42 at the combine, but he does come with some concerns. His work ethic has been questioned. His attitude and his growing diva reputation got him in trouble in Pittsburgh as well as Chicago. Before I get you to respond to that, let me play a clip from your head coach about the transaction bringing in Chase Claypool.
We give you the opportunity to define who you are in the most honest, organic, real way possible. And that's open mind, clean slate, let's go. You give an opportunity and you allow someone to follow their dream, put the control in their own hands, and show teammates each and every day what you're really about. He'll start as a Dolphin and be able to earn whatever place he wants within the locker room based upon his actions on a daily basis. We give you the opportunity.
Okay, so that was Mike McDaniel, and it out of that, it sounds like to me that they know exactly who they got. They know what he come with, and he also mentioned that they didn't really need him, but to add someone of his caliber, of his athleticism, his speed to an already high-powered offense can make you even much more dangerous. But I think it's a high reward, low risk move. And what is your thoughts on getting Chase Claypool?
Very much so. I agree with everything McDaniel said. I also agree with what you just said. That's the beauty of this whole thing, is that we don't need him. Actually, it is a plus and a blessing to have him. We don't need him. What he does give us, though, he gives us a wide receiver that not only comes with the speed that all our receivers has, but he also comes with size.
Okay.
So that's 6'4", 220 pounds that he carries. Most of our receivers are under 6 feet. So hopefully that'll give us a little more, a bigger edge in some of the competitive side of the offensive football. He comes with the baggage, but again, he comes with, a chance to kind of redeem himself on the football field, because he had issues as a person. So if he can redeem himself there, we know the talent is unquestionable. We know he has the talent to play the game. He just has to, want to do it. Hopefully getting around some of the better wide receivers in the league right now, unquestionably, the best wide receiver in the league right now. That could help him, and hopefully it does. And if it doesn't, like you said, no risk, no reward, we could just, we'll see you later.
100%, 100%. I say it's a good move. Well, let me ask you, although I do like the move, because whenever you add somebody with that kind of talent, you can never say it's a bad move. But are you surprised that they didn't go after someone on the defensive side? Because as great as you've been on the offense, the defense has struggled mightily. And if the Dolphins is going to make a deep playoff run, that defense has to play better. You can't keep relying on the offense every single game.
Again, I agree 100%. Now, the thing about Chase, he just became available, so it wasn't like we were out looking. I'm pretty sure they may be looking for, perhaps some help on the defensive side of the ball. We had some injuries that were going. I think Phillips was out, and we had quite naturally Ramsey is out. So hopefully those guys will come back and give us, a push later on in the season. But the defensive side of the ball right now is an issue. It is a new system, new defensive coordinator who comes with credentials as being one of the better defensive coordinators in the league. So we're just hoping that, as the season goes on, the defense gets better and things come together. If the defense doesn't get better, it's going to be hard to make a long run in the playoffs. We can win a game or two, but as far as getting to the Super Bowl itself, the defense is going to have to get a lot better.
Okay. We talked about all the good things about Miami, and I want to touch on this defense a little bit. We had Jay on earlier, and he got hammered with a lot of the bad things that's going on with the Giants right now. And although there's this great, lovely picture with the Miami Dolphins and what they're doing on offense right now, there is a lot of concerns on the defensive side. Tua going up, they were on a high after that beatdown in Denver, where you won by 50 points, which is crazy to me in the National Football League that another professional team could lose by 50 points,
Right.
But they were able to do it. But the goal was to go after the division. And he's 1-4 against Josh Allen. They were kind of humbled a little bit because they got a little bit of humble pie in that 48-20 beatdown in Buffalo. But I'm never worried about the offense. I know Miami is always going to be able to put points up. Even in that loss where they destroyed Denver, Russell still had 466 yards. So there's some trouble with the defense. I'm going to read these stats real quick. Total yards per play given up, 5.7. That's fifth most yards per play given up in the NFL. First downs given up by defense, 93. That's third most first downs given up by defense in NFL. Passes completed, 98. That's ninth most pass completed by against a defense in the NFL. That puts the Dolphins defense in the category we had 27 in the National Football League. So we do know there's what do you suggest or hope as a diehard fan, seeing the potential that this offense have got you going, that a lot of teams cannot stop this offense? What do you think they need to do to shore up this defense? And I know Jalen Ramsey is on his way back soon, but there's more issues than just Jalen Ramsey. What's your thoughts on that?
Wow. I mean, well, we know the defense numbers are pretty bad. Up until the Buffalo game, we did a lot of bending and not really breaking on points. And in that game, the offense actually had a few turnovers that caused the defensive the ball to get more points. And we're going to give up yardage. It appears as though that defense is made to, kind of try to keep things in front of them. So that's why the first downs are, so high. But we're going to just need to actually be better in all phases of, rushing the quarterback, defensive backs. They just have to be better. I'm just hoping that the new system comes together, because I right now I'm going to trust in Fangio to do what he's known to do.
Yes.
But until then, we're going to just hope that the offense can carry us until that defense gets together, because the defense has a lot of issues.
But you're on the way up. This is not like a 80s and a 90s the way they run the league now. It's a passing league, and you guys are off the charts with putting numbers up. Of course, you're going to have to prove the defense. I remember seeing Green Bay finished last in the league in defense when Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl. I know Pat Mahomes with Kansas City, they're always like 25, 26 in the league, but then Pat Mahomes started doing Pat Mahomes-like things, and he overcome that, and they win the Super Bowl. Whether you guys do that, I don't know, but right now, it's got to be great being a Miami Dolphin fan. But join us back is Jay, and you guys got a game today. These are two organizations right now at the present time is going in different directions. Miami is ascending and the Giants are descending. How do you see this game playing out? And Jay first, what can the Giants do if they could pull off upset? What must happen today?
Hey, could you do me a favor? Because for some reason, I don't know if it was my phone, because my battery's about to die. You went out for a second, so repeat everything real quick for me. You went out.
Okay. I said that this is two organizations that right now at the present is going in different directions. And the Miami Dolphins is ascending and the Giants is descending right now.
Okay.
But upsets happen every week in the National Football League. That's why we take guesses, because you never really, really know. So if the Giants are going to pull off an upset today, what must they do for that to happen today?
Tackle, number one, because, like Gerard just got finished saying, they got a lot of speed. So, we got to keep them guys in front of us and tackle. The defense is going to have to win, especially since we don't have Saquon again, because, I don't see us putting up 30-plus points without Saquon. Anything's possible any given day, but, I don't see that happening. So, yes, they have to tackle. That's number one. Keep those receivers in front of us and get a turnover or two. Because Tua does get rid of the ball fast. He kind of started that last year. So, somehow we got to get in his face, maybe tip a pass up, interception, something like that.
And if I could add, it's time for Daniel Jones
to step up.
The world is watching. It's time for him to step up, man. Getting $47 million. Show us something today.
Exactly.
Make the game, even if you don't win, compete. Don't go on the field and make it look as if you don't belong on the same field, because you are a professional team as well.
Right.
Gerard, I see you smiling a lot, so how do you see this playing out, and what will you guys do to take advantage of a team that appears to be trying to figure it out right now?
Hey, real quick, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Before Gerard say what we have to say, because I know where this is about to go in a second. I do pick the Giants to win. All right.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Giants win.
Oh, wow. Huge upset.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
24-17.
All right. Okay. Okay.
So I want to say that before,
Okay.
Talking 24-17. Defense steps up today. Daniel Jones go down there and get a little Miami miracle, drink a little miracle water, and put a few good drives together, and we pull out the win.
Gerard, take us home, man.
Okay, see, it's actually a long season, so the Giants are a team, right? We saw the Giants last year. This is pretty much the same team, with the addition of some weapons on offense that we really haven't figured out as football fans, like what's going on with the Giants. But without Saquon, I would be surprised and totally disappointed if the Giants beat us today. Our offense is playing extremely well, any way you look at it. And even though our defense isn't playing well, without Saquon, their offense is limited. They are an NFL football team, and we know on any given Sunday, anything can happen.
Right.
But again, it will be a disappointment to me and most people. And I believe that Slaughter may have Jay may have been sipping a little bit of something, because 24-17 for the Giants is a stretch. But again, he's a fan, and we would expect that. I know Jay well, as I know you well, and I know we are all avid fans of our team.
Right, just give me your disappointment. That's all.
All right. Well, this is the only game that I didn't pick, and I'm gonna tell you, it pains me when I have to pick. No, I'm serious. All jokes aside, my son is a Giant fan, and my son have as much passion and love in his heart for the Giants as anybody that I know.
Right.
And he watches my football picks, and he's not happy if I'm not picking the Giants. And if the Giants right now were looking like they were looking last year, they can get my pick. But your eyes see what you see, like you were saying, upsets happen all the time. On any given day, the worst team can beat the best team, but it's rare. But considering where the Giants is right now, and me and Jay, we discussed it earlier, there's problems on special teams, there's problems on defense, there's problems on offense. Even Brian Daboll is being questioned right now for this team not being ready and prepared to play every week. And some of the losses have been bad, like they've not been in them. And that falls on the head coach too. So then you got Saquon is inactive for this game too, and Daniel Jones just haven't looked good all season long. And then the on the flip side, the Miami Dolphins, We all know about the offense. It's well documented. We don't need to talk about it anymore. And I know they struggle a whole lot on defense. And if there's ever a chance for Daniel Jones to start getting better at his game, it is today against a weak defense. But I think it's too much offense. It's too much Tua. It's too much Waddle. It's too much Tyreek Hill. And I have to say, if I'm wrong, I'll be happy for my son. But I'm taking the Dolphins 31-20, up in Florida. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on here and help me out doing this. I think it was a great interview. I think it's great for fans and people like us, because when you go through those tough moments, when your team are not winning, you're kind of down and you're fighting at home with the old lady and everybody pissing you off and you're getting phone calls. But when you're able to get on here and talk and laugh and just have fun with it, it's not so bad after all. Hey, listen, the Chargers have a bye week, so there's no stressing, no reaching for the Rolaids today, no need to reach for Tums. You can relax and enjoy some football today. But I wish both of you guys luck today, and good luck to the Giants and Daniel Jones. Let's make this a game. I don't want to have to cut the game off. So make this a game.
If any Sunday you step up, this is the Sunday you step up.
100%.
Okay, really quick. I didn't make a prediction, so I'm going to make a prediction.
Go ahead, make your prediction.
I'm going to go 35-14 with the Giants.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
You know what? Let me just say this based off of them, a piggyback off of that. I think that the Daboll, being the guy that he's been with Buffalo and being that the guy that came and put his stamp all over this team last year, and how they've been embarrassed the first month of the season, I expect him to have these guys ready to play today. I expect that. If you are who you're the offensive, you're the head coach of the year, I expect him to have this team ready to play. I expect Daniel Jones to step his game up. I expect his defense to step their game up. I don't think they will win, but I expect it to be much more competitive than 35-14. But we never know. We'll see. It can't get out of hand. If it get out of hand, man, it could get ugly.
We'll see. I mean, I expect Gerard to be, excited. It's been a long.
Oh, I could see him holding in. I could see him just trying to keep it all inside.
It's been a long.
But he should. But he should.
If it's been 30 plus years since my team, I'll be excited too. I'll be, dancing in the streets, whole nine. Yeah.
If you notice, I really tried not to take many jabs at the Giants, but Jay had to throw that 30-year whole. Today is today. We're not speaking years ago. We're not speaking 10 years ago. We're talking about this season today.
About the moment right now.
And right now in the moment, you guys have 101 problems.
Yeah, but the 30 years I mentioned is in context of what I'm saying. It's been a long time, so I understand your excitement. I mean, you set it off when you said the 35-14, because I know you don't really believe that. Okay. I can see that after throwing 70 points. Yeah.
We'll see it play out. Maybe next week or tomorrow morning. Maybe we could come back on here and talk about it afterwards. It's up to you guys. But I'm muting you guys so you can't talk no more, because I got to talk and say thank you for all our people for coming out, for taking the time out of your schedule. There's a game on in London, England with Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills, and you took time out to watch this show. I appreciate you. Don't forget to go on Stacey Mallory YouTube page, press the like, give a thumbs up, and more importantly, subscribe so you can get all the content that we release in the future. Thank you for Gerard and for Jay to come and sharing their perspectives and their opinions on their teams, and wish them a lot of luck. And as always, we will see you tomorrow morning on Chargers Talk 4630 podcast. Good luck, guys. Peace.